Hey guys, it is August 13th, 2020. Welcome to Loose Screws. I am your host, Ty Worsham, and I am tired this week. With me this evening is our resident audio engineer, Commander JN Trax. You doing all right there, man? You've been kind of out of contact a little bit too.
I'm back, baby. Yeah, it's all right. Hey, I took a little time off, and then of course I don't manage my business quite well enough for that time off not to bite me in the butt when I come back. So it was like a rampaging scramble as soon as I got back. And but hey, I'm taking a night off and doing a podcast tonight. Let's do it.
Good deal. Also with us is our community cheese maestro, Commander Chig. You eating the cheese there, man?
Not at the moment. I could, then I could talk, but I won't do that. I'm doing well.
He's like, oh my God, I forgot about cheese.
Work is busy. No, I've got my cheese figured out tonight, and I actually ate some earlier. I don't know. Same old. I'm tired like you are, though I'm kind of wired. I should have had that cup of coffee a minute ago because I might just talk really fast all night and just feel absolutely crazy, but I'll try not to do that if that's okay.
For those who's not real sure, yes, that is normal speed of podcast. If you listen to this on double speed, damn, bro. The giggles back there was Admiral Commander NL Hate.
Hey, guys.
I'm not going to ask you how you're doing. I know how you're doing, so.
It's rough.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the CQC event here in just a minute because I have a rant. Tyler, that's right. I know.
You with a rant?
I know.
What?
I know. I have. It's a rant. So be prepared.
You know, they don't use tritium in CQC.
Maybe they should, because then it would fucking work.
Oh, snap.
Anyway.
God, I said snap.
So coming up. Let's try this again. Coming up on August 23rd is the 1-year anniversary of Loose Screws, but the important date to remember is Thursday, August 27th. That is when we are bringing everyone back. All of the big turds will be returning. Dravenos and Chig will be here, and that Thai asshole will be here, and Kai will be here. Everybody's going to be here. Everybody who's had any sort of influence on this show whatsoever is going to be here. Because it's the 1 year anniversary.
Throw a party.
Yeah. We're going to sit up here and talk about Loose Screws, and I don't even know what all we're going to talk about yet. I'm just excited about it. Yeah, but we're going to do it live. We're going to stream it live. Everybody who can stream to their own things. Kai mentioned actually streaming it live over on Elite Week Live at the same time, kind of doing a dual stream. So yeah, come on over, join us, talk some smack, and to go along with that, on the website loosescrewsed.com, there is a wonderful little link there that says 1 year, and on there you can leave a message for us for 1 year. Now, you can literally say whatever you want to there, and I've been going through. We've actually got a fair amount of these. I've been going through these. I will not. Originally, I said I was going to read every single one on the air. There's a few. Yeah. There's a few that I probably should not read on the air because I'm not sure why y'all still listen to the show if y'all hate us that much. I mean, damn. But
you have to read those ones.
Yeah, I'm going to read a few, but the ones that are specifically targeting specific people, I'm not going to read. I think that's just me. So,
if it targets me, please read them.
Well,
I would like to be able to read our own hate mail personally.
Yes, that would be fun.
This is the read mean tweets, right?
Yes, I want them. I want the hate mail.
I'll have to share them with y'all. So, yeah, I'll share them with y'all when we get there.
This is like a bit that they do on Jimmy Kimmel or something, right? Celebrities read their mean tweets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, we've been trying to do Tuesday night events for about 3 weeks. I guess 3 weeks now, 2 weeks now, something like that.
2 weeks down, what we're planned.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, we did the group mining event, which went splendidly well. Very impressed with that. And then our last Tuesday, we did the CQC event, and I'm going to come back to that. But next Tuesday, the 18th, and that's you're going to hear my phone probably something out because I'm level 2 support tonight for the on-call. So you might hear my phone. But if that happens, I'll break away and come back. But that was just a friend texting me probably a dick pic because he thinks it's funny. So, well, he knows when I'm on the air. So he always messages me something funny to try to get me to break up.
You
so.
dick pics.
Not literally.
On the air?
Not literally. He's not that cool. So.
I'll send you one right now.
It's going to be a rhino.
Oh my God. All right. So Tuesday the 18th, we're doing a Thargoid bug hunt. We're all going to get together. We're going to go hunt some Thargoids, kill some Thargoids. If you've never killed a Thargoid before, come anyway, because we will have people running fighters to where you can, like for instance, the fun things I like to do with Commander Data is run his fighter, and I just go shoot at the damn swarm and then fly away while he actually kills the thing.
Yeah, just kite the swarm.
Yeah, and it's just fun. It's just mindless fun to kill these things. If you've never killed a Thargoid, come with us. We will teach you how. Because it's fun.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chatter in Shipbuild's channel about getting people getting their ships ready and getting advice on that. And like I said, if you don't have the stuff unlocked, like the Guardian Gauss cannon and stuff that you would probably need to be successful, you can still be a great help and participate by flying people's fighters. There probably will be several in the scene. And there's no consequences. You don't lose anything when you blow up somebody's fighter.
Yeah. I mean, it's 3,000 credits to replace a fighter or something like that?
3,000 credits for a fighter. I lost it.
Yeah.
So it's the great thing for like beginner players, right? You don't have the resources to put something together that's going to be Thargoid combat worthy. Just turn up and be a distraction and get to see the things and hear the sounds. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's super fun, especially if you have VR. Just saying, it's super badass then.
Some of us further along players are also putting together a wing of adders. The Adder Boys.
I'm going to see how quickly I can get an adder together. I think I probably have the resources already.
So if you count next week, or if you count our SRV football a couple weeks ago, this next week will be the 4th week in a row we've had an event. Three Tuesdays in a row. So we're going to try to do something we're making it Tuesday night so people know when to show up, but we're having some fun.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do is I want to count that because I think that's where we started with this little trend that we were doing. And I think that, we're going to, if we count that, then we're gonna have a lot of fun. Keep doing this. I'm not sure what we're gonna do after bug hunt yet, because I haven't really thought about past the 1 year anniversary yet. There's a good chance I'm gonna take that week off afterwards.
We can always repeat some of these.
Yeah, I always do another mining night. I don't know about CQC. Well, I'm sure our rant from Ty will figure out if we're ever doing that one again.
Okay, let's just break this down here. All right, so I had a rage quit last night. Not because I was dying, and not because I was getting my ass in CQC. I don't even give a shit about that. I'll get my ass kicked all day long. I rage quit because of the functionality of the game. Chick, what the hell did you just text me?
Dick pics.
Yep.
I sent him 2.
To be clear, those are the kind of dick pics I actually was talking about. So
Chick has 2 dick pics?
There's what is it? Dick Clark. Who's the other one?
Dick Van Dyke and Dick Clark.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the first one. I knew it was.
Well done.
Anyway, I recognized him, but I couldn't think of his name. So anyway. So CQC, we were having a great time, and it's a little janky on how you have to play together. And so at one point we pulled out, and because we were like, all right, we got to get Data and McPherson here. So had a little trouble getting them invited. Finally get them invited for, whatever reason, because, anyway.
So you have to leave the lobby to try to restart a new lobby to add new players.
Well,
It's worse than that. It was
we had two groups of four.
Yeah.
Groups of four, and we both clicked team deathmatch at the same time. And it
Yeah.
puts Chig into a deathmatch with two other people, and I'm sitting there just spinning. Why the fuck would you not match us together? Why would you what happens on the other side where that takes place?
Magical
what world
obfuscation.
I don't get it. I do not get it. I could understand it if we clicked, if there was like some kind of weird ping thing going on with one of us and it was throwing us off, but everybody had a good connection. Everybody was, we were just fine playing normal deathmatch and just, maybe we'll get in the group together. And then we got in the group together. And then right after the team deathmatch incident where we couldn't play together, it was like, well, we'll go back to the standard deathmatch and just shoot each other. We tried to get into the freaking normal deathmatch, and guess what? It puts Chig in a group with three people. Don't know why the hell that happened. And it puts me in a group with three people, and it puts Chig in a group. I can't remember what happened with that. Anyway, it would not
Sorry
put us
to
back
interrupt.
together.
I just got Dick Cheney on my phone.
Oh. it would not put us back together. It wouldn't do it. Like, no matter what we did, the only way that we actually got to play together is if we all just exit out and just hit deathmatch, and then we were all in the same group. Like,
using the squadron function was completely pointless.
Yeah. So it's like, why even have multiplayer? Because it's broke as fuck. It is. It is
he
broke
mad,
as shit.
guys.
I am. It is. Ooh. It
He was
pissed
not
me
happy.
off. It made me rage quit. I did not break keyboard or anything. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. This is supposed to be a multiplayer video game, and you can't get it to where we can play together. Why? Why is this difficult? You have a squad function there that, as far as I can tell, doesn't actually fucking work. Am I doing it wrong? Please explain to me, what am I doing wrong?
Well, you were dying a lot. Maybe that had something to do with it.
I was not having a...
No, I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. There's a few things, and they're all related to matchmaking in this game, that have consistently not worked right since their inception. And that's why we all think that this code base refresh, right, is going to be a big deal. And that's what we think kind of among the things that this is going to be, right? Because like last night, I managed to get on game a little bit, and I was flying with some multi-crew, and multi-crew consistently, glitches. Usually you can start it pretty reliably, and then you're sort of on a timer, right? And after, between 5 and 10 minutes, the menus are going to get glitchy, and then it's going to drop you in maybe 15 or 20. And then you have to reconnect. That's just what you do in multi-crew, right? It's the same kind of thing. There's something going on in the background that obviously is not easy to fix, because it's been known, and it's not like we actually think that they just don't care, right?
No.
It has to be that it is difficult and it needs something bigger. So we're hoping that bigger thing's on its way, right?
Well, you're exactly right. I don't think that they don't care. I think that it's a situation where they just haven't addressed it at all. I think it's a situation where they threw it in the game, and I felt like they thought it would be like an afterthought kind of thing. And then at some point, it got a little bit bigger, so they actually tried to do tournaments and stuff with it. And then they realized that their code or multiplayer aspect of it is broke as shit. So
that's what I mean.
abandoned
These
it.
are all related things, right?
Right.
So the problems with CQC could be the same problems as the ones we see with
Wings.
multi-crew and instancing and wings.
It has to be with the peer-to-peer system they have set up
Yeah.
rather than centralized servers, and it's just wonky as fuck, and I don't know how the architecture is set up, who's hosting what, and how it's all coming together. So I can't even begin to guess on how to fix it. And who knows, maybe the guy in the company who knows how to fix it is no longer there. I have no idea. Because it was unbelievable, because we had a group together and it's like, I've never done team deathmatch, me either, this is going to be great. And we get 2 teams of 4 perfect and try to launch, and it launches 2 separate 2v2 matches rather than one 4v4 match. And it's like, this is just stupid. Everybody leave. Let's try it again. Try it again. Same thing. So it's like, all right, let's just go back to deathmatch. We go back to deathmatch, and my squadron all gets in one group together, and then Ty's squadron, I think him and 2 of the people in his squadron got in a match by themselves, and one person ended up not in a match. And it's like, well, what the hell just happened there? It was an utter mess. I mean, I enjoyed myself without Dubs there and no A1. I won 17 matches in a row, so it was a good time. but we should
if
get
I'd
some
been
shout
able
outs,
to have been there, I could have put a couple of deaths on your scoreboard, but I doubt
I had
you.
some deaths. I mean, I think I ended up with 106 kills that night, and at least a dozen deaths. But we played for a while, and I mean, like, Nikum was there. Dude's a good pilot. Who else was there? Crazy Ivan, Teflon.
Oh, speaking of which,
PD Junkie.
I haven't seen Crazy Ivan on him forever, and he hops in and we're having a good time, and then he was the oddball that was not able to play that one time, and he was in my squadron.
Yep, and didn't get in with you.
Oh, so when you look at a game, and I hate to even compare it to this, but I have to compare it to this. But you look at a game like the Call of Duties, and you look at the game like the Battlefields and the PUBGs and all the other multiplayer games that can manage all these ginormous number of players together that can play together and relatively play together without incident. And then we can't get 8 people to be able to play together.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Well,
I mean,
okay,
I really wanted to try capture the flag, but when we couldn't get a team deathmatch, we didn't even bother trying. We just went back to deathmatch so we could keep playing.
Yeah.
So that's a valid thing to say, right? To say, look at all these multiplayer games, but there's several key differences with the way those work. And I mean, even to the extent that at least back when I was playing the Modern Warfare series, they were in a sense peer-to-peer. Typically and it would rotate, if somebody's lag went up, but typically one computer in the room, in the lobby, was the boss, and they were sort of validating everybody. So there wasn't a centralized server, but that still worked pretty well. But it's not an open world game, and it's not something that's repeatedly creating and moving and recreating ad hoc instances of things over and over and over again, and trying to do so with as few loading screens as possible. I think there's probably some key architecture differences, and maybe they were intentional at the time, and maybe now there's a better, more thought out way of doing it. And I hope we get to that at some point. But I think it's not a patch, you know what I mean? It's major version number needs to change to get core things like that fixed.
Yeah, imagine if we get, it has to be fixed before Odyssey, because if all of a sudden you have people on the ground and people are hoping to be able to do close air support and have SRVs and people running around trying to do all of that stuff together with the current system, I don't see any way in hell that's going to work.
And I'm sitting here crapping about it, and I genuinely do have confidence that Frontier is going to fix this by Odyssey. But I rarely get in situations where I'm genuinely just pissed off at the technical side of things, because I do have some understanding of how technical a lot of this crap is and how it looks like it's easy. It seems like it's easy, and it's really not. And you're 100% right. Comparing it to games that have an embedded server or a group of servers or a server farm like Call of Duty does or whatever.
Is that how they do it now? Because I was actually thinking that it was actually even more analogous in the sense that, because back in the day, Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and stuff, they were peer-to-peer. there was a matchmaking server that started the lobbies, but once you were in the game, it was one of the players in the game was the host.
Was the host, yeah. The way I understand it now is that they have dedicated. So the Warzone is definitely a dedicated server because there's no way a single computer can handle 150 people playing together. There's just no way.
Yeah, very different.
But like their standard multiplayer stuff, the way I understand it, their ground war games and their war zones are all handled by a group of servers, of course. And then they have a group of servers set up to do just multiplayer. But if they get in a situation where those servers are oversaturated, they will then go to client-based hosting for a few matches and rotate people in and out.
That's clever.
It's a very good, well implemented system. And don't get me wrong, it's a brand new engine. And call it, I hate to give them any credit because I'm a little irritated at them as a company right now. But they did a great job with that game. And I know it's not necessarily fair to compare a game that was designed with multiplayer from the ground up with no single player aspect whatsoever, at least on the online part, to compare it to a game like Elite with the sheer scale of it. That being said,
the open world nature I think is a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's very frustrating from a player point of view, and from someone who is trying to, I'll just say it. We play this game. We enjoy playing this game. We enjoy playing this game with our friends. And then once a week we get together and we get to talk about video games and maybe sometimes books, and we get to talk about Elite Dangerous, and that's fun. But ultimately, we are supporting this game, this developer, because we do have belief in them and we have trust in them because of what they've done on the whole and on the product that they've given us. But this aspect of the game, and I know they just added the ability to queue while you're in game, which is a great thing. I'm honestly the mindset, this either needs to be taken out or needs to be fixed because it's broke. It is broken.
There's even the queuing from in-game is
it's a little janky.
Rarely works. There's one
kind of patched in.
One thing I hate about it is if you join from in-game and you get into a match, you get into a match, great. What I don't like is when the match is over, you should go back to in your ship where you were before the match instead of going to the CQC lobby. And then you can queue again from in-game. That way you can just kind of hop in CQC, hop back out, while out exploring rather than having to go back out to the menu and everything else. It took half of the hopping, to the menu to get into a game out, but still requires it after a match. I just don't like that. I like WoW's system for Battlegrounds and Arena where you queue, you get in it. After the match, you go back to where you were. That to me is the ideal system. Then you can just kind of, seamlessly just be hopping from one to the other and get matches in when you're not, in the middle of mining and stuff like that. It would be great. But what's worse is when the queue does pop, I'm not exaggerating. Probably 50% of the time, I end up with Mauve Adder where it crashes, and I have to I have to relog, and it does it all the time. I mean, it's to the point where I don't use the in-game queue anymore. I just exit out to menu and then go into the game, go into Arena because it's just not worth it. And you can usually tell when you're going to get the crash because it'll start going through all the tips. How you get a tip at the bottom. It goes through all of them, just rifles through them super, super fast, and then it crashes Mauve Adder. So you usually know when it's going to crash. So that's my 2 cents. I have a blast doing it when it's functioning properly. I mean, I play a lot. So even the crashes, it's 2 maps, Elevate and Custer Compound, the 2 with the big cylinder base where you've got the weapons power on the bottom. I crash on that map maybe 10% of the time, which to me is still just so unacceptable that 1 in 10 times I'm crashing. And oftentimes, it's towards the end of a match and then I don't get credit for any of the kills, don't get credit for a win, anything. I just lose any progress I had from that match. And then I'm, going log back in, get back in the game. And because there's so few people that play it, even if that crashes earlier in the match, I get back into the same match, but reset to 0 points. So then, I'm starting a game at a handicap. So it's got things that they need to fix. And, those are the reasons people don't play it. It's not because it's not fun. It is super fun, but it's just got these odd bugs that drive you nuts.
Well, and here's what I'll say too. I've played a fair amount of CQC by myself, and me and you have just played a fair amount of CQC by ourselves. You played a hell of a lot more than me. When I was just alone playing, or when I was just playing with you, it works pretty damn good. It really does. Overall, the performance is great. The the game itself, like the playability of the actual game, works wonderful. Like, it really does. Just like you said, probably 90% of the time, I don't have any issues with it. But
when there's people there, I've had really good luck. The only problem I've had is when there just haven't been anyone on at the time.
Right. Which, that's not necessarily Frontier's fault, except for I still believe that if they were to have kept up with the CQC tournament, that they would have a lot more interest in that. They would actually, because there's no other game that does it. There's no other game that has tournaments for flight sim or space flight sims. I know DCS does like a F-18 tournament every few weeks, or F-14 tournament or some shit like that every few weeks. But this is the only game I know of that does any sort of just space fighter tournament, and they do it the best.
I think they get a ton of action. Well, whatever. This is not like an uncommon opinion that I'm about to dazzle all of your minds. It doesn't have any payout. It's the one part of the game. We argue about what parts need a payout buff and stuff. Like, that's the one part of the game that it's like, oh yeah, well, I mean, they left it out of ARCs. It's like, oh, you obviously don't care about this, weird that they left it out of ARCs. Even if they weren't going to like make it part of like advancement credits wise of your commander, like leaving it out of ARCs is weird, right? They want to get people. It's like every aspect of the game earns you ARCs. A little trickle of ARCs, just enough to wet your whistle, and then you're going to get in there and buy the rest that you need. Weird move, leaving ARCs out of CQC.
I'm actually curious if CQC goes away with Odyssey. I think there's a real possibility of that.
You shut your mouth.
Oh, no way.
Well,
I would be shocked.
I was very much believing that until they added in the queue from the menu with the fleet carrier in it. When they added that in, I was like, okay, maybe not.
But I don't. What would be the purpose of removing it? I mean, even if you just left it in its current status forever, it's just something else that's already there. Because I don't see why they get rid of it.
Because then you don't have Ty Worsham bitching about how they need to fix it. And it's a broke ass piece of shit.
Instead, you'd have people with hundreds of hours. All of a sudden, all that progression is gone. Oh my god, that would be
Red alert!
far
Red
worse.
alert! Ty Worsham said something bad.
Good God.
They're all getting, their phones are all going off. They're waking up in England right now.
I would say, that I don't think they'll ever remove something that's already in the game, but we know what they're doing with VR. So
I'm convinced they're just delaying VR. For technical reasons. I don't think it's going to get removed. I don't think I'm going to get a delay, not a betray.
We're not going to get a Trax rant.
No, I've really calmed down a lot about that all.
Okay.
Plus, they've said some things lately that further evidence that like it's not being ignored.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it's going to take, and whatever. I'm not gonna give them a hard time about it unless it's like really egregious. But I think it's probably a technical thing, and I get it.
Well, if it's within in my mind, if it's within a year, I'm kind of okay with it. Like I'm like, all right, I'll wait.
Yeah, and that's going to feel like a wicked long time. But like,
Yeah.
hey, if it gets there, boy, is it going to be great.
Yeah, but it's gonna bother me a little bit if what I'm worried about is them pouring some money into it to get it developed, and then at some point they're like, wow, this is really hard. We should really just work on other stuff because everybody's wanting other stuff. So we're just it becomes like, you know, ice planets or comets. They just stop talking about it, you know?
I don't.
But I will also say this. I feel like they have a large enough VR community that they would be shooting themselves in the foot if they did that.
Oh yeah, we made that forum thread that's like almost 200 pages. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. I have no doubt that they understand the intensity of the VR community.
Yeah. And plus some of the things I've seen with like Arthur recently, some of the posts he's made about VR in specific, and on how I'm not sure how the hell we turn CQC into VR, but here we are.
I started talking. Suddenly the conversation twisted.
I mentioned how, you know, they wouldn't remove something from the game, and then said,
okay. So going back to that real quick, I don't necessarily think that they will remove CQC, but it would not shock me. Like if they come out and said, all right, so CQC is the last day you can do CQC is this date, and Odyssey comes out the next day, and whatever your rankings are is where you'll stay for forever, and your rank will stay there, and maybe you get like a special, you know, icon or something you can add to your name or your ship, or maybe a bobblehead or something.
This is total insanity. The thing you're talking about right now.
Yeah, I can't believe you.
Complete craziness.
The fact you said
it's possible
wouldn't surprise me. I'm not going to do a Cruel Rabbit kind of outlandish thing I'll do if it happens, but I'll just say I would be shocked.
Oh, great.
No way.
Now I'm not thinking about the ashtray. I'm thinking about Cruel Rabbit.
Oh God. that bastard, where did he go? He's got to come back drunk as hell into our Discord one night.
Where the hell did Rabbit go? I haven't seen him around forever.
I haven't seen him in like 2 or 3 months now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I hope he's okay. Let's just say that.
Anyway,
so guys, I wanted to, if I can just take over the show for a second.
Go for it, buddy.
I missed like the update that I was waiting for and wanted to know like what was going on with it and stuff. Like, catch me up. So like, pretend I'm a new player, because I almost am. I feel like wasn't mining supposed to be fixed? You guys had a mining night. What went down? How does mining work now? Is it good?
FDev was definitely trying to nerf some of the money-making potential of it. And it's definitely down from where it had been. You can't make $1 billion a day as easily anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can still make $1 billion a day, though.
Apparently, Paynite surface mining is back to being king. If you're really going to min-max, you just got to go mindlessly surface mine again.
That's
As
ugly.
always, the trick is wing mining.
Yeah. And so, you know, I don't know. Nobody send me hate mail, but I just don't care enough to get bent out of shape about this. If you can make anything over 50 million an hour, I think you're doing quite well, because 4 hours of mining, you can buy the most expensive ship in the game. Yeah, you can't A-rate the whole thing, but you can buy the most expensive ship with 4 hours of mining. So I don't know. I'm not bent out of shape.
Okay, let me rephrase, because we all know that I'm not like trying to achieve the highest payouts or something like that. Like I'm not a min-maxer, and I don't love laser mining. So like I had read just enough to know that like apparently when you do the math, Paynite's back on top, and I'm like, okay, well, that means it's a miss, right? That means technically their stated goals for what they were trying to do, it at least kind of has missed. But where's Tritium? Are hotspots doing what they're supposed to do? Is the overlap nerfed, but the hotspots work? That was the goal, right?
Hotspots are closer. You'll actually find the voidables in the voidable hotspot, the low temperature diamonds in the low temperature diamonds hotspot. And like always, you can probably find alexandrite in icy rings.
Yeah.
But
All right.
the overlap is for sure, while laser mining, nerfed.
Yeah.
For subsurface, it's also nerfed. And for
That's a bummer.
the triple overlap that the DSSA is using to fill up the DSSA, it's still not keeping those fleet carriers moving.
Okay. So tritium maybe still needs a little work.
They definitely want it back to the pre-nerf, to the area of the pre-nerf.
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of lines up with what I've heard in my little bit of sort of looking at this last night when I started to come back to space. So I actually went and in our mining collective channel on Discord, there was a document shared where some very ambitious commanders are scouting rings and just finding like all the overlaps and all the hotspots and sort of scouting things. So I started picking through that stuff, and I was really disappointed to see that they're concentrating entirely on low temperature diamonds. Because what I've seen from like down to earth astronomy's analysis is, even if you hate laser mining like me, low temperature diamonds probably shouldn't be the main focus. Like it's sort of like painite if you're going to laser mine, and just go for a mix of everything if you aren't.
Right.
Which I think is kind of neat. So I started digging through their data, and I'm disappointed that they're only really paying attention to that. But some of them are making notes of what they find other than LTDs. And so I made a copy of their document and started just deleting anything that didn't have, I guess what I decided was I wanted to see void opal hotspots overlapped with LTD hotspots. And I don't care if they're double, because I don't think the doubles matter very much anymore. So I probably shouldn't worry about that. And so I just sifted out thousands and thousands of their entries that didn't have any of that, and then sorted them a bit by distance. And I've been sitting since we've been recording for quick check. We've been recording for 37 minutes, and I've been in only 34 light years from Ross 310. There is a system that has a void opal LTD hotspot that's almost a 100% overlap. And I've been here. I've just been prospecting anything that's really bright. I found several cores and a lot of subsurface. I don't have lasers with me, so just subsurface and cores. I have 17 alexandrite, 27 LTDs, 31 void opals, 31 granditerite, and 32 tritium. And that's okay for casually shooting around. So I feel like this is going to be my spot, or at least hotspots such as this, still finding tritium just by accident. I'm certainly not going to need any more than this.
Yeah, that's what I found too, is I've been hopping just into random LTD or void opal hotspots, just dropping dead center and then flying towards the planet is what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's usually my plan too.
I've been making in an hour, I'm probably making 100 million core mining, easy.
Sure.
I haven't sold anything though. I just keep stockpiling it on my carrier until I need credits. Then I'll sell them. My guess is there'll be some patch where everything goes in the tank and I'll get screwed. But hey, I'm just accumulating it. I go out and I come back, in an hour, usually, between, 50 and 70 void opals or LTDs, depending the hotspot I'm in, and 10 to 15 tritium, and some alexandrite and granditerite, kind of mixed in there. So
some of that other crap.
Yeah, I definitely feel mining's in a good place. That's probably why I'm I'm not bent out of shape.
Right. I like this. I like the hotspot, the void opal, because it's still kind of it's back to being the most valuable thing, right? The void opal, and then some other mineral that isn't necessarily found in cores, at least not in cores only, like low temperature diamonds or anything else. Like if it was, benitoite or however you say that, that's also a core.
Benitoite, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know how to say that one, but that's also a core. So you wouldn't want to overlap those.
Bromite.
But overlap of void opal with
Bromelite.
with something that's going to be found in subsurface and come out, and you're going to find. And just don't be shy about picking up anything worth at least as much as alexandrite.
Well, this is what I found with mining. To me, it's become when core mining, it's become like fishing. You're just kind of going and you see an asteroid. Ooh, that looks like it could be a core mine. And then, you head to it. And if it actually turns out to be a core, which when you're good at spotting them, it almost always is, but you don't know what that core is going to be. Sometimes you're going to get that fucking bromite or whatever the fuck. And you're just like,
Bromellite, yeah.
That one, just throw that one back. But then, you get an alexandrite and it's, hey, that's a decent sized fish. And then, oh my God, void opals, thank God. And, it's great. It's like fishing. It's relaxing.
Yeah, I found several subsurface of LTDs and one LTD core. There's been one dud core. I also saw Dubs share that the cerebidite, or however you say that's a core mineral.
Yep.
And it comes in a different shape rock. It does not come in the popcorn rock. So that's interesting.
In any ring that isn't icy.
Oh, so metallic or rocky. Neat. And yeah, they have a totally different shape. So this is fun. This is something that, like, I don't know, somebody probably knew, but it wasn't like public knowledge because everybody was like, void opals. When the core mining update came out, nobody paid attention to anything else, even though these other minerals were out there in cores.
I find myself prospecting more rocks anyway, just on the chance of, finding a, tritium, subsurface deposits.
Right.
One with like 3 or 4 of those. All of a sudden, that was worth, shooting a prospector at. So I don't know. I am shooting prospectors at other asteroids now.
Yeah, I'm looking for the cores, but anything bright.
Yep, pretty much.
So if you kind of go by some of the things of the DSSA, and I did not listen to their feature commander thing today with FDev, haven't had a chance to yet. But if you go by some of the things that they were saying or that I've been reading from them, they're still having a lot of trouble mining tritium out in the black, so for me, what little bit of mining I've done, I did the mining night, and I've done, I think, one other night by myself mining. I haven't had, I would not say the best of luck, but it feels like it did back when, back before void opals, or actually back when void opals kind of first came out, when they were like worth 1.7 million a piece, but they weren't necessarily the most easiest thing to go find and mine. Yet you spent some time in between, which was fine because if you're in there for void opals, it's nice that you find it, you get it, and you spend 3 or 4 hours, you end up with 50, 60 million, and it was a good night, and which people are kind of balking at that amount right now, and I'm like, it feels good.
Boy, I think even when they launched, it was a lot more than that, but
it might have been. It's been over a year for me, man. I don't remember the exact numbers.
Yeah,
I did just go look up the Serendibite amount, and they're going for like 750,000 right now.
Yep, that's one of the good ones. If you want to go at a metal or rocky ring, I think I just personally probably just going to stick to ice rings for the sake of there's void opals and other stuff out here that is around the same value. And because, but that would be a good mineral because that's a core. So find an overlap with that and something that isn't in cores. Hell, bring lasers and do painite, and maybe that would work out for you. I don't know. If you can find an overlap of those spots, I bet that would pay really, really well.
GCRV 1568 has an overlapping painite and serendibite spots.
There you go. Already found.
I just like that you can mine just about anywhere now. So it's good.
Right. And so anyway, and I at this point, I have a bunch of things all fairly close to the bubble. The farthest thing that I went out was like 200 and something light years away from our home base. And there's lots of these they're single overlaps, but they have the right minerals, and this is proving to be pretty successful, and it's really close. I don't even have to move my carrier, honestly, if I didn't want to.
I'm moving my
to get
carrier. I'm moving my carrier right now. I'm about to steal your spot.
Yeah, come at me, bro. There's plenty of room. There's nobody here.
Yeah.
But I'll share this. I'll share my version of this doc in the channel as well, so people can see where I'm looking. There's plenty of spots. It's not going to be a problem.
And you know, one thing we talked about before this patch even went live, the guinea pig is going crazy, by the way. But one of the things we talked about before this patch went live was like we really wanted it to where you could kind of mine anywhere. Like there wasn't just a situation where you had 30,000 fleet carriers in one spot and it was hard to get into the spot, to the one or two spots that were good to mine. It's nice to be able to just kind of, look at this cool spot I can pull up to and just kind of do it at my own pace and just kind of have fun, you know?
Yeah. So I think we need to skip a little bit of fix a little bit of Tritium, but other than that, it seems like we're in pretty good shape. Yeah.
Let's actually talk about it for just a minute because we've had a few people make suggestions, and it made me remind me. I remember back to when we first started talking about fleet carriers, and Kai had the idea. It would be nice if if there was a way your fleet carrier could naturally replenish itself.
Right.
So I can't remember who it was now, and I wish the hell I could remember. I could find it, but I'm having the hardest time finding it right now. So whoever said it in the
Server runner,
was it Server Runner?
probably.
Shit. Yeah, I think it was Server Runner because he whoever it was. I'm sorry if it was Server Runner. Cool. If it was someone else, cool. I'm sorry if I can't remember who the hell it was, but they made a comment about like, hey, it'd be cool if you could recharge your own thing. So I kind of like, getting the free 1,000 each week or getting the free refill each week. You know, that kind of got me thinking about it. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if there was a way that your fleet carrier could just naturally glean, like maybe you had to park it around a specific kind of star and it could get it from that. So then I went and looked up how tritium is found, how tritium occurs naturally. And it pretty much only occurs through fusion. Very little of it has been found on Earth. So,
but it can be stable in water molecules,
right?
Which is hence the ice rings.
Hence the ice ring, right? But I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if there's a way, say it took longer, but that would kind of fix the DSSA issue where they could park there, then make it where you couldn't refuel beyond what's in your depot. That way you couldn't really, take advantage of it, but that way you weren't just stuck somewhere. And you can also turn it from like a free thing you can gather and go sell,
So my favorite idea of this was it would actually be a carrier service that you'd purchase and maintain. So it would cost something, right? It would add to the upkeep cost of the carrier and the outright cost of the service. But it would essentially just be a crew that's going to go mine tritium. And maybe they would really only pay into your depot, but that way you'd have this sort of like base rate of gathering tritium. And maybe that base rate would go up or down depending on if you were in a system that had hotspots or something. But I think it'd be nice. And I mean, it should be maybe a slow trickle. If you wanted to refuel and make a jump same day, you'd really still want to go out yourself and either buy or mine it. But if you could let it sit there for a few days, you could come back to, 300 or 400 extra tritium. I think that would be a kind of a cool feature.
Your Tritium Depot people, yes, they should be mining, but if it was an additional, like a premium depot with mining crew, Dubs even suggested, something like, if you've got, your tritium mining crew or something, you have to have a ship on board set up for mining that they take to go do it even, just any way to, to make it more realistic potentially, and maybe not scooping around stars or stuff, but yeah, as you said, a carrier service that somehow mines it for you. And how fast they do it, who knows? Maybe it's a crew, and if you've got an elite crew member, he mines it faster than if you've got novice crew members, but you got to pay them like you do crew members now. There's so many things they could do. It seems just a missed opportunity that they didn't do anything.
And the idea with the thing that you could get fuel automatically from like Stars or something would it'd be a service you have to, like, you couldn't have all the services on your ship. You would have to sacrifice one and pay upkeep and
You have to open a slot.
Right. So that way you have to figure out, well, what do I really want? Do I want a secure warehouse? Do I want an outfitter, stuff like that.
Hey, if we found a use for the secure, what is it? Secure storage? Is that the black
Secure
market thing on
warehouse.
your ship?
Yeah.
The other night, Teflon was trying to unlock the engineer where you got to sell stuff to different, black markets. And Dubs had a bunch of stolen shit in his secure storage. So Teflon was able just to get the stuff from Dubs and then go sell it at black markets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were amazed. We actually found a use for it.
Did it scrub it to where it was shown as clean or?
Nope.
Well, if you're selling it, no,
Still
it did
stolen.
not. Still stolen.
Huh. Well, yeah, I guess you'd have to be stolen to sell to black market. So
There
yeah,
you
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, so I said we figured it out. Dubs and Teflon figured it out. But that was pretty cool. That all of a sudden, holy crap, there you go. And I was like, well, how do you have so much stolen shit on your carrier? And apparently, him and Teflon have been pirating a bunch, so that's why he had it.
Oh yeah. This makes sense to me.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of what you've missed, Trax.
Right on.
You missed CQC, Ty getting pissed off, and you missed nothing else. So, and you missed fun.
Shall
Sounds like
we?
my life and game.
That's good. I feel much better, guys. Thanks for that update. Shall we talk about the faction?
Yeah. Do it.
Check this out.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
That's pretty cool, man. I
Cool.
like it.
I'm
Yeah.
so stoked.
Keep that
Good.
shit.
I'm glad.
Well, while we were paying so much dear attention to our good friends, the Yervantu Creative Holdings, we missed a little gap in our insight. We missed that Bumber had approached 75% influence, and we're preparing to expand from Bumber. So over the next handful of days, we're trying to get the Kungmu progressives out of Kwama so we can try and expand into Kwama as opposed to expanding into Metaziti, because Metaziti ain't got nothing we want. It's just going to be another Bumber clone, a little refinery with all small stations. We hope the Yervantu Creative Holdings don't mistake us abandoning them as distaste. It's just we got other stuff we need to do. So we're focusing in on the Kungmu progressives and expanding to wherever we get to expand to, and then expanding again, and then expanding some more.
Hey, if those other guys feel left out, we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come
Don't
back.
worry, you'll get your bullets too.
We'll take over management. I know how tough that can be. We'll manage their systems for them.
I like this idea of taking out the progressive. Let's do it.
Oh man.
So we had someone over in Kama who was like owning us, didn't we?
One commander resisting us and just tearing me and Nurgle's plans to pieces. One guy. And I met him, and I said, "Hey, you guys heard about our podcast?" And he said, "Oh no, not in-game advertisements." And I thought, "Oh man, I've ruined this stranger that could have been a friend's opinion of me." And I still talked him into joining the Discord and working with our faction.
Cool.
Way to go.
If you see Night Aries in our Discord, thank him for taking his fingers out of my pie and helping us. Helping us.
Yeah, he I hopped in there the other day and I was like, who's Night Aries? And you're like, oh, this is the guy who's been kicking our ass over at Kama. I was like, oh, it's this guy. I'm like, it was just this one guy. You're like, yeah, he's a beast. I was like, oh, okay. But apparently he is a beast and very cool guy. So welcome aboard. We had a few other people hopping. I'm not going to go into the Discord thing real quick, but Storm Raider, I think we had talked about him last week, bringing over a bunch of his people. And I think we got some more of his friends to hop over as well, if I'm not mistaken. So
We also got our first spam bot into our Discord.
yeah, Jane. Yeah, we got
Big
Jane.
news. Big news for our little Discord.
I know we got this. We got the spam bot to join in, and yeah, your guinea pig is hungry. By the way, she is hungry. She is going crazy. But anyway, the girl's in here to feed the guinea pig, y'all. So I had to give her a hard time.
Oh,
so,
I expect sounds.
if you hadn't heard it by now, then you probably will not. But that guinea pig was going crazy. But yeah, it's we've had a fair amount of people join the Discord, join the squadron recently, and I cannot keep up with who everybody is new, but we tried doing that for a while, and then we ended up failing miserably. So we moved away from it, but we have things in place to help us with that, but we still fail miserably, and we have trouble pronouncing people's names sometimes. So yeah.
Well, all are welcome.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, robots are only welcome for a very short time.
Yeah. And I'm not sure who ended up actually banning that robot, by the way.
I don't know. I had my thumb on the button and I was still toying with it a little bit. And I was about to push the button and then I got a work call. And when I came back to my phone, it was already banned. So
yeah, actually, I got it on my phone, and I could not figure out how the hell to ban it on my phone. So I went over to my computer. By the time I sat down, someone had banned it. So yeah, So whoever did that, thank you. That was really cool of you. So anyway, hey, you have this down here. I haven't got a chance to play this yet. Have you actually got a chance to play it yet?
I played through the tutorial for Eve Echoes today. The servers went active at 4 a.m. where I live, and I was not awake then. So when I woke up and got the household situated, I played through the tutorial. It definitely is not Elite Dangerous, but it is a great space game.
Yeah,
and it handles very well on my phone.
Is it like a strategy game? I haven't got a chance to play it yet. And I watched one little video of it, and I thought, all right, I'll check that out. I got it downloaded on my phone, but I haven't done the tutorial or nothing yet.
I only have a very base knowledge of what regular Eve is, but I would imagine that they're very comparable.
Okay. So for those that don't know, the game is actually called Eve Echoes, and it's a full blown mobile game set in the Eve universe. And do we know if this actually interacts with the existing Eve universe, or is this something that's kind of its own thing?
Dust did interact with the Eve universe,
right?
But I believe that they are kept on separate servers and kept away from each other.
It's probably for the best. So. It's kind of interesting to see that they went this way. We put this down here because, Eve is probably the longest running space MMO out there. I can't actually even think of another one off the top of my head.
Outside of Elite? Yeah.
Well, I was excluding Elite because we already had talked about
obviously.
Yeah. But, well, and I think I'm pretty sure Eve has been running far longer than Elite has. I'm pretty sure Eve has actually been running upwards of 12, 15 years, kind of like World of Warcraft. But
yeah.
Anyway, I've never been a big thing with Eve. I know people who love that game, who think it's great. Good on you. I'll be checking out the Eve Echoes game. Like I said, I'll probably check it out tonight for the show. Maybe as I lay in bed or something, and then end up falling asleep and crashing my ship. Do you actually control the ship, or is it just like a...
No, just like regular Eve. You kind of point and click, and it goes where it's supposed to.
That's kind of disappointing, but all right, whatever. All right.
Hey, I think let's throw the ad in here.
Okay.
and then Chig Chat, and that'll
Yeah.
break it up nicely.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
real quick, the little ad that we're going to hear was recommended to us by Alec Turner. And it's not like your typical ad with where we're going to try to sell you a computer or something. This is something way cooler. So, and without that, here we go.
A special message.
Chassis integrity compromised.
Do you have what it takes to leap dance your Scarab across the terrain at speeds of well over 100 meters per second? Do you understand that over the crater is the only option, no matter the size? Join the 8-Wheel Drive Endurance Championship and show the galaxy the size of your boosters. Check out the Elite Racers subreddit for sign-up details and a link to the Discord.
Hang on a minute. Did he say over 100 meters a second?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
How the hell do you get your... I gotta learn how to drive an SRV better.
It's kind of
yeah.
like speedballing, but in an SRV.
Oh, I see. Kind of like that fliving thing where you...
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
I got you. All right.
You
is it
ready?
time?
You ready to now that we have the sounds back? Are you ready for Chig Chat?
I'm ready for Chig Chat. Chig, are you ready for Chig Chat?
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh,
Go,
shit,
no,
I missed
go,
it.
go, go.
Okay, Chig Chat coming at you.
It's Chig Chat. Yeah, that's a fact. It's Chig Chat. Where the cheese at?
So I did listen to the episode that I wasn't on, and I wasn't gonna let that go. So I went and grabbed that sucker.
I had this image in my head where you splashed that out and put the actual real thing there. I was wrong. It's so much better this way.
You know,
It came out pretty good. I think you did great.
I don't know if we want to increase listenership. I don't think any of us should be singing. I'm just throwing that out there. It's entertaining. It's funny. But thanks. I love it. All right. So now Chig Chat. Good God. I just have some nerd stuff tonight that I want to talk about. First, I just want to I want to give a shout out. Russell Kirsch died 2 days ago. Russell Kirsch, you ask, who the hell is that? He invented the Pixel. Yes, that's right.
Oh,
the
whoa.
Pixel was invented in 1957. He the first digital photo ever was a picture of his very
Don't
young
say it.
son.
Oh, never mind.
Yep, it was 176 by 176 pixels, 2 by 2. It's
blue.
just crazy to me that was an invention. So I wanted to say, that's cool. I mean, think about that. That's 73 years ago. The Pixel was invented. We've come a long freaking way. I mean, from one little 2 by 2 picture to now, at 176 by 176 to now, I've got a monitor that refreshes 144 times a second at 1440 by 2560. It's insane. But what I'm talking about tonight is I'm trying to make a decision as to what I'm going to buy, because my X56, the left thumb analog stick died, and that's where my thrusters were hotkeyed, my up, down, and lateral thrusters. And oh my God, it was I'm lost without it. I rebound and everything else, but I've always said if this HOTAS went, I was going to upgrade to either a Virpil or a VKB. In today's situation, I don't know if I can justify spending, anywhere from $700 to $1,300 to get everything I need to get one of those setups fully outfitted. So I kind of want to do it, but then I think, oh wait, new graphics cards are coming out. And how much are they going to cost? How much money
But
should
don't you
I
already have a
save
10
for that?
series?
I've got a 2080, but
Oh,
But-
20 series.
yeah, I have got a RTX 2080, not a Super, not a TI, just a run of the mill 2080. And then
boo-hoo.
I know, right? But the new ones are coming out. But then, of course, a few weeks ago, my third monitor went. And luckily, I had an old 24-inch sitting in the basement that still worked that I was able to fit in. So I still have 3 monitors. God, I've got first world problems. But I've been thinking about replacing my main monitor, and Ty sent me a link to what was that, an MSI 32-inch 1440 monitor.
It's actually a Gigabyte monitor. Gigabyte started making monitors recently. I don't know much about them, but the reviews are really good. So
okay, so you wanted me to be the guinea pig, but I was tempted to jump on that wagon, because I kind of would like to increase my monitor, and then that made me think, see, there's all these steps to get to my point, which can take a while, so just hang on here. So then I was thinking about my monitor, then I thought about when we did our hardware review a while ago, and then Ty, recommended, a specific monitor that he liked, and that was kind of tied to the system he was putting together and where gaming currently is at, because like a 1440 a 2K monitor is pretty much the sweet spot right now. Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking, well, if I'm thinking about getting the new graphics cards, 4K might actually be far more feasible once these 3080s hit. And we have, the on the 31st or the 1st, depending on what you decide to read, the announcement for the new NVIDIA card is supposed to hit. It'll be the 21-year anniversary of the GeForce 256, and they had that in the countdown 21 days when they started the countdown on the 10th, 21 years. So it's definitely, hinting that it's tied to that, and that was the first consumer graphics card. So we've got that announcement coming out here at the end of the month. And then we should be seeing the new card anywhere from a week to a month after that. They'll be available. So I'm debating where I want to go, what kind of rumors there are, and I want to know what you guys think. Should I be spending more on a HOTAS or try to fix this one, or just suck it up? I put in a trouble ticket, but fuck, who knows how long Logitech will get back to me on that. Or should I just get a new monitor? If I get a new monitor, I'll probably wait on a graphics card, so it doesn't matter. But if I buy a new graphics card, I'm probably gonna end up buying a new 4K monitor anyway. And I kind of wanted to do this too, just to hear your guys' thoughts on the rumors of the new NVIDIA card. Oh, and did you hear the other news? Completely rambling here. Intel, is making their own graphics card, and a lot of people thought it was just going to be, a lower end card. They announced that in 2021, they're putting out a card that will be on par with the top end NVIDIA and AMD cards, and they're going to get their hat in the ring to make it a 3-horse race to see who has the best graphic card. So that's a whole nother avenue that got to look at. Who knows how that's going to play out? Hopefully it brings prices down. What was that?
It's going to be good for the consumer.
Definitely. You get another competitor in there. I mean, if they can actually pull off, making something decent.
Yeah. If it's true, and it's actually going to happen,
it came from
good.
them. It was their own press release. So
yeah. Oh, they said they wanted to be something that was competitive in the actual graphics market, and not just like a GPU kind of, like industry based thing, which is
actual ray tracing. It's going to have ray tracing. It's going to have everything. So. Right.
Could be. Okay. I'll. My feeling. What should you do? If I had a 2080, I would not be freaking out about the new series. You're doing fine. Wait for them to super it or something. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's a regular 2080. It's not even a super. So wait for them to super it. You're not far enough into the hole yet.
What do you think the price point's going to be?
I think the price points are going to stay the same.
Each time they've come out, they've gone up. So you take inflation into account, especially recent inflation. I mean, the 2080 came out at $700 at launch. Just the regular 2080.
Yeah.
And the 1080 before that was $600. So it was $100 bump. And the one before that, from 980 to 1080, that was almost $100 bump. So I mean, we're talking.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess I remember the whole RTX thing appearing was that was sort of the cost hike, right? Like when RTX came out, and then there was this thing where people didn't want to pay for RTX, and that's where like the 1660s came from, right? It was a 2060 with the RTX cores disabled on it.
Yep.
For the sake of cost. So I don't know. I'm not really thinking. I don't know. I've seen no rumors that it would be price hiked.
This is well. Let me jump in there. So number one, you probably don't know this, Chig. I'm not sure how long you've really paid attention to prices as far as video cards go. They every third or fourth generation there's a price jump, and then they kind of get equalized, for lack of a better term. But typically they stay within about $50 to $100 of each other.
Yeah, it goes up $50 to $100 each generation.
Well,
that's for sure. I actually researched it today. I went back to follow exactly how it went and the space between launches, because a lot of people thought that this launch was a lot longer gap between the previous, and this is actually shorter. From the 1080 to 2080 was almost 30 months, and now the 2080 to 3080 is only going to be 24 months. So this is actually a faster, upgrade cycle than the last time.
Yeah. See, it's kind of been my experience, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but they, and maybe you do, but I remember back like when the 580s come out, they were like 650 or something like that. And then the 680s come out, they were like 700. And then the 780s come out, and they were like back down to the 600 or 650 mark. But then you factor in inflation a little bit, and all the things we've done recently, and COVID-19 and all the other stuff. I have no doubt it's going to be a little pricier. My gut, I don't care what they come out with video card wise. The games haven't caught up. Cyberpunk 2070, Microsoft Flight Sim, and I know people are balking at me. I'm throwing a Flight Sim here. Microsoft Flight Sim is going to be a graphics card killer. If you don't believe me, just wait. It will. It will be a good benchmark tool as far as performance goes. It will not be the be all end all. Don't misunderstand me, but it will be one to put in the list.
This is echoing. I mean, I'm saying like you have a 2080, like you aren't being harmed. You aren't on the edge of anything.
Well, I am in a bit. Even for me, that's bottlenecking running like the new Flight Sim. I won't be able to run that on 4K on a 2080. And that's what I'm looking at is, I'm looking to get into the 4K side of things and some of the newer games. And I mean, right now that is still the bottleneck in running games. Everything on full ultra 4K is the graphics card. Now, the new graphics cards will shift that bottleneck initially, probably to a processor for sure. But the new processors coming out are probably going to be there. Right now, monitor technology is ahead of what the computers can push out.
Yeah. And
for sure.
You look at the next gen consoles coming out, and even them, they kind of feel like they're a little behind. But we don't really know what they're going to be able to do. They're touting 4K HDR, with RTX and all the bells and whistles, but hadn't really seen it.
Well, that's I don't know if you saw the news too. The Xbox, there's going to be the Series X, but also Series S. There's going to be a little bit dumbed down version of it that will run things on a little bit lower settings and not run quite as fast. So
yeah.
Project Scorpio versus Project Anaconda. There's a third one that'll get released next holiday season as well.
Yeah.
And for me, and maybe I'm just wrong about this, I don't quite see. I do not see upgrading yet. I just don't. As far as video cards go, now for you, if you're just in a situation where you're dead set going 4K, You're 100% right, man. You can't go 4K without going to right now a 2080 Ti, and even then you're going to have to sacrifice something.
You're going to have to turn down a couple settings to get adequate frame rates on current AAA games.
My advice would be go to wait until they come out with, I don't know what the number is going to be, but we'll just say it's a 3080 Ti, because typically the Ti series ends up being the ridiculously expensive, but the bleeding edge, for lack of a better term.
There's a lot more cores.
Yeah.
The difference between the titanium edition and like whatever the next step down was is typically
rumors have it that the Ti is going to have 24 gigs of VRAM. That's just insane.
Oh, also, and check this out. You speaking of the 21 things, I was reading. For one thing, you could totally go numerology with this. You can take apart like the number of cores that is rumored to be in this flagship card, and the digits add up to 21 and stuff like that. The 21 or 256 was the number of CUDA cores in the original, or I guess it was the original GPU, right? The very first GPU.
Yeah, the GeForce 256.
Right. And there's something to do with that. But the thing that I actually took from that I think might be legitimate and not just basic numerology hunting is it could be 21 series, not 30 series, which would be kind of clever, right?
Yeah,
well, they've said that NVIDIA likes to do that once in a while, basically just to screw over the leakers. You know, they just change something like that at the last minute. Then all of a sudden, all the leakers were actually wrong. It's not that, so.
Even if the card has the exact number of cores that they said it is.
Exactly.
It has the weird, like, triangle design and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. It does look funky, the leaked photos, for sure.
Well, also, they're saying that they could have, like, week one custom cards instead of having to wait instead of having the Founders Edition sit there for weeks or months, custom cards actually on the day.
I would be very surprised at that, because one of the main ways that NVIDIA has been kind of pushing to make their money is off of their Founders Edition cards, and that's why that they hold on to them for 2-3 months. Which is why I was about to tell you, Chig, that I think I messaged you the other day that buying, if you're really waiting for the 3000 series or the 2100 series or what the hell they're going to end up calling it, it's going to be a situation where you're going to be waiting 2, 3, maybe 4 months. I think they'll be out by Christmas, but I say that, but I think it's also
why do you think there'll be that delay? They always are out within a few weeks, sometimes as little as a week after announcement.
Yeah, I think they're usually close.
Historically,
the rumor has been that it's even closer this time.
Maybe my memory's failing me here, but I remember
we should look it up.
Well, I mean, I've got the last 3 series. 2080 was announced on August 20th, 2018, released on September 20th, 2018. 1080 was announced on May 6th, released May 27th, and the 980 series was released.
What they're talking about release there, that's the release for the Founders Editions. That's not release for the aftermarket.
For the custom cards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's available. It doesn't matter.
They're not. That is what I'm saying. Like if you want to buy like an MSI or Asus card, you typically got to wait 2-3 months after the NVIDIA release. And then, again, my memory may be failing me here, but there is a time delay there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Founders Edition purchaser. Like it's a price premium for something that I think the custom card builders do a better job on coolers and just to get the shiny thing with the name on it.
I'm just going release date and the MSRP at that release date is what I'm quoting.
Right.
So.
Right. I'm going by like...
and the third parties, they have all of their own MSRPs. And the 20 series actually is a bit odd because that one came out and then there was all kinds of hardware delays and stuff like that for third party because that was right at the end of the bubble popping on cryptocurrency.
That was also the time when the price of video cards was ridiculous. They're still ridiculous. I'm a big believer that we'll see the price go back down with this generation, because I think NVIDIA sat around and realized not a lot of people are paying for a $1,200 video card.
Well, I wouldn't mind that.
Realized, well, I would not have the card I have if it was not given to me, because a friend owed me some stuff, and he said, well, hey, I'll give you this. I'll buy you this. And if we call it even, I'm like, yeah, cool.
If I had to guess, I'm going to put the 3080, excuse me, the 3080 is probably going to be $800 to $1,000, and the Ti is going to be over $1,000.
See, I'm of the mindset that the Ti will be eight to 1,000, and then the 3080 will be 6 to 7.
Yeah, I just don't see prices going backwards. I don't see that in today's environment and everything else. I don't see how they all of a sudden release a brand new card cheaper than the last generation.
The only reason why I say that is because I think that if you look at the performance of the 2080 Super, and it's just like, what is it, 3% less, like on average 3% less than the 2080 Ti, but it's $500 cheaper or something like that. $400 cheaper. I can't remember. It's like $1,200 versus $600,
you can get Super for between $600 and $900 depending on the sale you find.
Right. I think that they're going to look at those price points and realize, because the Super well outsold the Ti, and the Ti never quite sells as much as the other cards because of prices, but I don't know. We're speculating.
Yeah, but I mean, the Supers, God, they came out 6-8 months later, and everything else, where people, are farther into, the cycle. And at that point, people are more ready for an upgrade, but also don't want to pay for, 6-month-old tech, yet paying top dollar for a Ti or a regular 2080. All of a sudden, something new comes out. It seems new, and you jump on it.
Well, I think there were technical reasons why it was a good thing. Like, I think they were sort of on the edge of this RTX thing, and then they found ways to, make the memory, streamline the memory bus. And they did, technical things in the background to make it easier and cheaper to make these better cards. So it was a bleeding edge tech at the time it came out. And then we got this sort of spec bump for basically no price change with the next generation. And now, like, we've got what do you call it? The nanometer size, the diode size.
Yeah, everything is changing.
Transistor size has shrunk significantly, and so they're, it's like when chip manufacturers are able to shrink the size of their transistors, like, everything changes. So we really don't know. It could be that this power is actually coming without that much cost.
Yeah. And one of the things I've been seeing as well, people, talking about, like you said, like the 24 gigs of RAM or the 20 gigs of RAM on it. Man, I got I think 11 gigs or something like that on this card right now. I think if I fire up 2 instances of Call of Duty, I use like 7, and I'm at max settings on both of them. Yeah. It's great, but
that's what you need for 4K. That you need a massive frame buffer.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I'm only at 2K. You're right. So, yeah.
Everything doubles. Every frame you're rendering. Well, no, sorry, it doesn't double. 8 times.
Actually 8 times. Yeah.
Because that's the thing about this 4K versus 5K and so on. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it goes crazy.
The number of pixels. Yeah, it's exponential because you're multiplying 2 dimensions instead of 1.
Right.
So
anyway, if it was me, Chig, I would not buy. I'm not buying the 3000 series yet, unless I start seeing some benchmarks that really show it's going to do head and shoulders above what we have right now. I think it'll do better, but I think it'll be a 20-30% increase. I don't think it's going to be this leap and bounds. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong about the price, and I hope I'm wrong about the performance increase.
I actually hope you're right about the performance. I would hate actually for it if it's a giant jump. That'll start forcing everybody to accelerate a bit faster because game developers are going to try to use every ounce of power that's there.
Yeah,
Right,
you know what
they're
they're
gonna try to
going to
eat
be limited by though? They're going to be limited by the freaking consoles. Sorry.
Oh, they
console
can
players.
always turn those settings down.
Yeah, it'll just be consoles. It'll just be looking a lot uglier.
It's easy to
Like they do
sculpt for
now.
consoles because it's just one piece of hardware. That's easy to do. I've the rumors being between 30 and 40% upgrades. I'm excited. I mean, I'm buying it pretty much no matter what it is because I'm behind. I actually need the upgrade in a big way, and I've been waiting for a long time. So I'll be pleased pretty much no matter what happens. Unless it's a massive price hike, but I'm basically going to decide whether I get a TI or just a regular 2080, depending on the price. It's like whatever. I've been saving money for this upgrade, so it's like wherever that number is and whatever their price point is, that's going to decide which card I buy. And I know it's going to be fine. Whichever one, it's going to run games great.
Yep, you're going to be good for at least a couple years. At least.
Oh yeah,
Probably longer. My card's 2 years old now. Just about November of 2018. So I'm approaching the 2-year mark, and as you mentioned, I'm in nowhere lacking power to run most games at 2K at 144 hertz to match my monitor. But there's no way I could do 4K at that, or even the new monitors coming out, 4K 240 hertz and that kind of ridiculous shit.
that's insane.
It's mind-boggling.
Just a real quick FYI, none of this will fix CQC. So.
It will if these run off of Tritium. Then we'll be good.
So, is there more game news that we can talk about? What else is going on here?
So this week, Frontier released a cool little thing that actually shows the disconnect codes, like the Mauve Adder and the Orange Sidewinder and the Taupe Cobra and the Silver Fer-de-Lance. They released a list of what that actually means, and what that actually means. The most of them is that your internet sucks. Because all these codes, I'm not kidding, all these codes could not connect. Multi-crude failed to connect. Cannot connect.
Silver.
And the difference is like
connect.
Yeah. Matchmaking server, at adjudication server, transaction server.
That's the Blackadder.
Yeah. So, it's kind of cool that they sent that out, what that actually means. But yeah, that was, it was, to me, it struck me as one of those things that was just kind of like, cool. All this means I can't connect to your stuff. So,
Which we kind of knew anyway, because it disconnects you when it happens.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Actually,
right there, I mentioned Mauve Adder earlier. Could not connect to matchmaking server. That's why it says that I'm connecting to join match. I go to join match and it won't let me connect to the server. Just fucking stupid.
The things I find interesting here are like the error types, like the Mauve Adder is an ED server connection. Orange Sidewinder is a generic error. Silver Fer-de-Lance is like a multi-crew timeout. I like how they kind of, and then they actually have articles in there about how you might actually be able to help it.
What's the adjudication server?
I just saw that.
That'd be peer-to-peer.
Yeah, the mission
That'd be
server,
deciding who's right when there's a discrepancy between two computers.
Yep. Gotcha.
Avoid intensive browser use, downloads, and streaming while ED is running. Okay.
Transaction server.
There
How many
goes
servers?
everyone's porn habits.
No comment.
Hey, the tube that I have open does not host porn.
But I like that, these errors, you can see that when we're playing, there's matchmaking server, regular server, adjudication server, and a transaction server that they list there. So there's 4 servers right there that you're connecting to when you're doing shit in this game. How many do you think there are total? Other hidden ones in there?
Likely.
There's like a
It's
web
just
server.
Crazy.
Keep that in mind. There's a web server. which I think the web server is the part that would actually communicate with like ARCs, that portion and stuff. I don't really know. I'm an IT guy and I don't know. So
That makes sense.
yeah, I'm not real sure how they
Used
do
to interact with the store.
architecture, So yeah, they do have some articles here about port forwarding, general troubleshooting and stuff. It's actually, like I said, I'm sitting here kind of making fun of it a little bit, but really and truly, they do. This is actually, some of the information here is actually useful for the people who are having genuine connectivity issues. However, if you haven't had these issues before, it either A, means your internet sucks, like mine sometimes, or B, FDev is having too many fleet carriers in one box, in one system. So anyway.
Well, that was supposed to come out in the last patch, right? We're no longer having discrepancies in how many fleet carriers are in the system.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually fixed it or they made it to where mining is so much more, you can go wherever you want now, that they don't have the problem. I don't really know.
I did get the tunneling that resulted in the orange Sidewinder earlier tonight, but it wasn't related to fleet carriers being anywhere in particular. It was just
happens
seemingly
all the time
random
now.
thing.
Just your internet just sucks then. So
Well, my internet is brutally fast. Now, I mean, whatever, it happens, things are going to get errors once in a while. I haven't experienced it not related to like the fleet carrier bug that was causing it before tonight. So I have one on my record.
yeah, I actually got a purple Python the other day, which I had never had a purple Python, which I thought was
How
funny.
many arcs did that set you back?
Not enough. But anyway, that's the mission failed, unrecoverable error on adjudication server. I had that right before we started CQC the other night, and CQC failed us miserably. So anyway, not salty. I'm really salty about that. Anyway. Next
You're
thing on the
becoming
list
a
here,
grumpy old man. Have you noticed that?
I'm definitely a grumpy old man. Definitely, I am the silver Fertilance. So
I am the silver Fertilance.
Wow. I am
Episode title.
oh my God, that's it. I'm writing that down right now. Hold on. Silver.
What was our next item? Discussion part 2. Thargoids. Hey, you guys are into Thargoids, right?
Hold on.
Man,
We
I
gotta
was
do
hoping so much
on.
that the Eagle Eye was gonna talk and say something new today.
Now, what made you think that was going to happen?
Hearsay. I'm being honest.
Good answer. Cool. Rumors and hearsay. Tell me about Thargoids, Ty.
Well, we okay. So we last week I started this thing where I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what we want the three main races storyline to do in the next in Odyssey, because they will probably move us forward storyline wise. And we've talked about it before about them, you go all the way back to like episode 4 or 5 where this idea popped in my head. No, it was the pilot that gave me the idea about, the bubble being burned or the bubble bursting, whatever. The whole idea is that Thargoids invade and they destroy stations and planets, just kind of resetting where things are, so to speak. I still want this to happen. I don't think it will, but I want it to happen, because if it does, it's kind of resetting the clock on everything. We've got the fleet carriers that can kind of function as stations now. So let's do it, Frontier. Let's take out the bubble. You can leave like some of the like the key stations and stuff like that. Some of the like the Leonard Nimoy station, leave that. Like the
Have to
Hawking
move the
station.
starter system to somewhere else.
Well, I mean, they could leave the starter system right there. For whatever reason, the Thargoids left it alone.
They thought those humans are too pathetic.
Honestly, I don't think just burning the bubble, like you say, is wise, but I like the idea of bringing the war to the bubble, making Thargoids a part of the whole BGS equation. So you have to defend your systems from from Thargoids, make friends with neighboring factions to help you defend your system to throw the Thargoids back. And if the war starts going bad, the bubble could eventually burn because we're not fighting them off enough, and just kind of see how it goes. And stations that are burning, if you don't contain it, they end up getting destroyed. But don't just come in and destroy the bubble. Just have the war come to us.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
That's a nice way to do it.
Jig.
I'm sorry, Nate, but I mean, it would definitely throw a fun twist in there. Another. I don't know what system states you could come up. There's already war, but
infestation and incursion. They're already in the game.
Yeah, but more to them.
Slimy incursion,
but where there's a next level after that, where you're occupied, maybe, that system is literally, you need to go in there with a force in order to try to take it back.
Thargoid hostage situation.
Yes, works for me, but I don't know. That's my thought, rather than them because if they just burn the bubble, all the BGS people are going to fucking lose their minds. Power play people lose their minds because all that shit's just gone. And that would just be, I don't know,
truly
not something that I could see them doing. And man, I would be salty about that. But if they actually force, make us start actually fighting that war. And as you said, the new player area is safe from that because that's where new players are.
So, there's that supposed emphasis on supposed leaked image of the Thargoid rendering floating around. The actual Thargoid out of its spaceship. It looks like it has 6 legs and stuff like that. Obviously they're going to move the storyline forward with that. I say obviously, we're pretty sure they will. I'm actually kind of, when I first, did the whole thing, I don't really want to run around and shoot Thargoids. If we're going to be able to run around, I kind of like the idea of maybe there's a way we can be friendly with Thargoids. Maybe there's a way we can find because if you,
that's
if complicated.
You
just want to fly if you just want to fly your ship out right now and meet a Thargoid, you can do that. And if you don't have if you're not carrying like any meta alloys, or if you don't have a lot of Guardian stuff on your ship, they'll leave you alone. They'll scan you and leave you alone. I think it'd be kind of cool if we had some kind of friendly interactions with them somehow. Maybe I give them a flower and they don't eat my hand or something. I don't know.
I don't think they're going to let you fuck one time. just saying.
Episode title.
A lot of people have said that, especially the people that think that we are the aggressors and it's our fault. Blah blah blah. I don't believe that. Team Human, kill all the bugs. I like that idea of how you of becoming friends and having a diplomatic way of doing stuff, but I have no idea how you would implement that. I mean, you can't talk to them per se. Also going to have chat, dialogue and stuff, or is it just I don't know. Tell me how you make that a thing.
A piece of equipment that decodes their language or something. I mean, whatever. You could do stuff like that, I guess. It would be very complicated. I think that's a big advance.
Whole Dances with Wolves thing. You start trying to do some Thargoid dance to figure out who they are. I don't know, man. It's just weird.
Well, right now we don't even quite know how they even communicate. You go back to the unknown artifacts that would scan your ship, and then they would emit the sounds
show
and
a
then
picture of your ship.
Yeah. You go back to that. I kind of think it'd be cool if we had something in the game that was like, a very rudimentary Thargoid translator. Maybe you could pick up some, some very rough, Thargoid, missions or something like, hey, if we're gonna trust you at all, bring me, I don't know, whatever.
Imperial
Green-
slaves.
And Jubs will show up and drop them everywhere. So
Oh, done deal. We're buds now.
yeah,
Here's your slaves.
and just kind of things like that.
Unpaid interns.
Dubs will show up with loads and loads of slaves to feed to him. Here's a slave buffet for you. Be my friend.
Synthetic meat.
Even from the point of view of like the three roles in game, fight,
I just mention here in the codex, when you look at the Guardian section, the war with the Thargoids, they actually talk about, after considerable effort, they succeeded, the Guardians that is, after considerable effort, they succeeded in acquiring sufficient understanding of the Thargoids' language to determine the invaders' agenda, but they were unable to convince the Thargoids they bore them no ill will, and the Thargoids were unshakable in their belief that they must repel any race that posed a potential threat. So the Guardians actually learned their language enough to be able to communicate with them, and the Thargoids just wanted nothing to do with it.
And that doesn't not line up with the way the Thargoids seem to basically ignore us until we started screwing with their meta alloys and stuff.
Yeah, and well,
Exactly. So that gives you two options. You either kill them or you get the hell out of their space.
well, it is their space. They were there first.
Yeah, the tens of thousands of years ago or whatever, they seeded those planets, then went away, and now they came back, and now we have to leave because they came back. Screw that. They're bugs. Squash them.
They're big bugs.
Big bugs. We're going to get a bunch of adders, get out there, and pew pew.
That
Would you like to know more?
pleasurable.
So,
What else, guys?
I don't know.
Nothing I know about.
I got nothing. We've been jibber jabbering for quite a while.
Yeah. You got down here, Chick, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, August 14th. What is that, 35 years?
45.
You're good at math,
45.
Ty. 45 years.
I was only born 4 years later, so,
I
math is
was
hard.
1 year old when that came out, and I only put that there because there haven't been a lot of good movie anniversaries. There's some good ones coming up, but that one, is a cult classic. I mean, there's still theaters that show that on a weekly basis. Well, not right now with lockdowns and shit, but there's some theaters that still to this day show that on a weekly basis, and people get in costume and go and watch that. And I'm gonna say I don't think I've ever actually seen it, but it is a cult classic, and the fact that it's 45 freaking years old, it, blows my mind. I've heard about this movie my entire life, and somehow I've never taken the time to watch it.
All right, I'm going to say it. One of the most overrated movies of all time. I hate it. I hate that movie. I don't think it's good.
We're not talking about The Last Jedi. We're talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You shut up.
Most overrated
It's a
movies of
musical.
all
It's a
time.
musical. I wouldn't have pinned any of you guys for big fans of musicals.
Hey, I watched Hamilton.
Yeah, you
God.
you
My
didn't
daughter
seem excited
made
about
me.
it.
No, yeah, my daughter's obsessed with it, but it's also now got her obsessed with U.S. history at that time. So she's coming to me,
there you go.
talking about what Washington did and what everybody,
Yeah.
Paul Revere's Ride, all that stuff. It's good stuff. So I'm really happy it got her super interested in history and shit. She's 13. She's a teenager. So she's supposed to hate everything and not talk to anybody, but instead she's learning about history. So I'm proud of her. But yeah, as far as musicals go, I mean, not a big. I mean, Grease, I suppose I could sit down and watch that. But I mean, you say it's the most overrated movie ever. What else is on that list?
No.
What else is a massively overrated movie for you that people
Anything
just
written by
love that
Stephanie
you
Meyer?
hate? What was that?
What?
Anything written by Stephanie Meyer?
Well, you calling your
Oh, God,
ex-girlfriend
yeah.
out on the carpet? What's going on?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who's Stephanie Meyer?
She wrote the didn't she write the Twilight series?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man!
She doesn't have
Okay.
she doesn't have a great mastery of the English language or of vampires.
I'm going to say one here, and it's very controversial. You ready?
Yes.
I think the Harry Potter movies are kind of garbage.
Some of the movies were okay. The books are quite good. The movie, it didn't translate that well into movies, most of them.
The
Miss
only
Rowling
movie,
did have a mastery of the English language.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only one of the movies I thought was actually pretty good was The Goblet of Fire. I thought the rest of them I can't stand. I hate watching them. They're boring to me. I just don't care. I mean, just
You're not
kill Harry.
precisely the target audience there.
Yeah, I'm aware. And also, as much as I love this book, the movies were dog shit. And as good of a director as he is, I hate that this is on his record. The Hobbit movies are dog shit.
Oh,
They're dog shit, and it's as good as the Lord of the Rings movies are.
But that,
And then,
but you
that
know,
was your-
the mistake there was making it into a trilogy.
no, the mistake there was involving Legolas. It's about dwarves.
everything.
Get over it.
When we went and saw that in the theater, it was me, my wife, and my wife's friend, and she's the type that likes every movie. And we went and saw the first one in the theater, and we came walking out, and my wife, she doesn't even like to talk about movies after. She just watches it and is like, it was good or it was bad. Doesn't like to talk about it. Her friend is like, thinks she's a movie person, and she's like, oh my God, what'd you think? I said, I honestly can't believe I made it to the end. I wanted to get up and walk out. She goes, are you serious? Are you fucking with me? I said, no, that was terrible. And then I started explaining why I thought it was terrible. And she's like, I didn't think about that. And then we didn't see the other two in the theater. I've seen them since, but they were bad.
I think,
movies.
I mean, Peter Jackson did a masterful job, and I think he basically just got too much money thrown at him. And that's the thing about the movie industry is the only thing that decides whether a movie is going to get a sequel. It's not, does it deserve one? Is there a good story for one? Does anybody want this? It's, did it make money?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
look at
only factor.
Lord of the Rings was what? 1,800 pages of source material for 3 movies. And then you go, The Hobbit is 300 pages of source material for...
Less, I think it's a quick read. It's like 200, 250,
it's a shorter book. And they turned that into 3 frickin' movies and just bad movies. I felt bad. Ian McKellen, I felt bad for him having to play Gandalf in that movie. It was just, ugh.
Well, he didn't have to play him that much. I mean, he's hardly in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And the thing about the Hobbit book, it's probably, in my opinion, it's the best of the 4 books. Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit. I think the Hobbit is the best book.
I
but
love
it's by
The
far
Hobbit.
the shittiest movies.
Absolutely, it's the greatest just little story. The Lord of the Rings is an epic tale.
Right.
What I hate about the Lord of the Rings books, and actually I hate about why it's hard to read Tolkien for me, is he has all those songs he mixes in. And you just want to kind of skip them, but wait, there might be something important to the story here, so then you have to read them, and they're like every 10 pages it seems somebody's singing a fucking song, and I just it made it so I've only read Lord of the Rings, the series, one time. I've read The Hobbit, a bunch of times, but I just it's annoying. Back to me hating musicals, full circle.
Well, so on that though, that's interesting because in the Lord of the Rings, in the movies, he managed to keep it down to, I think, 1, maybe 2 songs, and they were both like really appropriate and well placed and well done and meaningful in the motion of the movie, of the screenplay.
Exactly.
And then The Hobbit opens with the dwarves singing about eating
Jesus
or whatever.
Christ.
I can't even remember. And it was like, I did kind of feel like, wait, what is happening right now?
Dude,
What am
the scene where they're floating down a river in the barrels and they're all tossing each other the same axe and fighting all these orcs on the shore, and Legolas is running on their heads and shooting them. Oh my God, it was just fucking insulting to intelligence. Oh,
Well, the barrel scene is right out of the book, but the way, I mean, there was no Legolas hopping around, and they weren't
they
tossing
just
axes
wasn't written
to
with
each
a
other.
book though. It was just a straight escape through the barrels. They didn't
Yeah.
fight their way down the river.
No.
The modern sensibility for a high paced action scene.
Yeah, the book, it was a clever way to escape, not this. Why didn't they just fight their way out the front door if they were going to fight them all? I mean, they fought them all. It was fucking just stupid.
Well, they only fought them all after talking about how secretive and quiet they needed to be so that they didn't get caught. So.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Wow, good call.
Yeah, you're right. I was kind of feeling like, yeah, those weren't great. No, it was pretty awful.
Yeah,
it was.
they were
It was
bad.
pretty awful.
That, most movies, when you're flipping through the channels, like all of a sudden you come across Chronicles of Riddick. Oh, I could sit and watch this. Or you come across Braveheart. You come across even the prequel Star Wars movies. I'll even sit and watch those for a half an hour if they're on TV. The Hobbit movies, I just click away right away. I don't even give them 2 minutes. So
I don't have TV.
what?
All right.
No, I mean I have a TV. I don't have like TV channels. I don't have like a
Cable.
what is it? Cable. Yeah,
I should get rid of it, but I
it's
can't.
useless.
Well,
You have to
I'm
like
actually
watch
gonna
things at
say-
certain times and stuff. Who does that?
Actually, because I did with my mother-in-law because I'm a lame bum. My favorite cable channel is actually the Weather Channel.
I can see that. I can see that.
Of the
I
like
love
4,000
History Channel and
channels
Food
I have,
Network.
of the 4,000 channels I have, I watch channel 22.
Yeah,
Channel
I
22.
turn on
Don't
the
tell us
TV.
numbers.
I go on the
Mother
TV,
channel.
put Food Network on, and scroll from there. And then usually it ends up there or History Channel.
I love the Food Network, man.
Fucking A, right?
This
And
is
I
a
love
great
History
episode.
Channel.
Yeah, we've completely gone off the rails
Oh,
here.
yeah,
However,
all right.
since we're off the rails and we're in the mud here, I'm gonna throw out probably my most controversial belief.
Oh, shit.
Werewolves again? Wait, what was it you believe in?
No,
Bigfoot.
it's not. It's not even Bigfoot. And Trax, I'm glad you're here to defend them.
Oh, God.
Because I
To
got a feeling.
defend Bigfoot?
Oh, did you bring this up last week?
No. No, I didn't. I didn't. I brought it up to you, but I hadn't said it. For the listeners out there, I'm probably about to lose a bunch of people to listen to us. I'm going to tell you who I think is the most overrated band of all time.
God. Go ahead.
Now, I'm going to say this as a Nickelback fan, but
So your opinion
Immediately
is null and
discredits
void.
self. Go ahead.
yep. I know. I'm aware. The Beatles suck ass.
No, man, they wrote all the songs. No, this isn't even an opinion. You're just empirically wrong.
Yeah, just straight up, just wrong.
Like if I sit down to like listen to music, that's usually not, I'm usually going to pull out something more modern, right? But from a musical perspective, like they invented so much of what every band or every so much of popular music was created, it was paved,
From their musical
their
theory.
engineers invented ways of making music. I mean, they did dumb shit like putting the drums all the way panned to one side because they like invented stereo. And they were like, oh, look what psychedelic crap we can do with this. And it sounded horrible, but they were like thrilled, because they could do something wild. It's that kind of stuff. Anyway, whatever. You don't have to like the Beatles, but they are not overrated.
So I have said this. Two of my best friends are in bands. All right, and they're music guys. I am not a music guy. All right, when I say I like music, my qualifications were: does it have lyrics I can sing to in the shower? And even though y'all heard me sing, and
Yeah, you were great. I'll play it
know.
again.
You need a webcam in the shower.
And
Whoa.
Nobody wants to see that. And then I don't play musical instruments. Music just escapes me. It is not my bag.
Do you
I just
sing
don't get it.
Nickelback in the shower?
It's how
Music does
you
escape you.
remind me. Anyway, so for me, like when I said this to my friends, because I have at the time when I said this, I had heard like maybe 3 Beatles songs total. I was like, I just don't like their shit. It's just not my thing. I think they suck. I think they're overrated. So it was about this time that iTunes released the Beatles discography, you know?
Yeah, because it wasn't available on iTunes for a long time. It's a rights issue.
And not only that, but you couldn't even get it digital for a long time. And even finding some of their CDs was kind of hard to do, you know? But Steve Jobs went through and got a contract with them, and I guess the family of John Lennon, or I'm not sure actually controls their rights anymore.
Didn't Michael Jackson own the rights to all their music at one point?
At one point, it seems like
some of it, yeah, he had purchased that. A good investment.
So I went out and bought the entire discography, and I listened to it in chronological order. I listened to it all over the course of like a weekend or something, and I walked away from it with the same mindset. Yep, completely overrated. They come out right now, they'd be a boy band. They'd be like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. So
yeah, but you can't listen to it in that context. Like it didn't come out right now. I guess not. And you know the other thing is, I don't like to listen to their music until you get to like Eleanor Rigby. Like if you're speaking chronologically, like I don't think they figured it out until they like met Bob Dylan. And he kind of like sassed them a little bit. And they were like, oh, shoot, we should make music that means something. And suddenly everything was, but they still had to have their chops, you know? So like the earlier stuff is important for the sake of them just getting to where they got to.
Here's my unpopular opinion of the night. I think Bob Dylan is massively overrated. And I'm from Minnesota, so that's where he came from. He's like a legend here, so.
Oh, we're going to have to end it there. I love me some Bob Dylan.
There we go.
We're gonna have to end it there. There was one of their albums. I'm looking at their list right here, and there was one of their albums I actually did enjoy, and that was the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
Fucking A, right?
I did enjoy that because that was that the one? I'm double checking right now. With a little help from my friends. That's the one I did. That was that album I really enjoyed. Yeah. So I guess I do like some Beatles.
I mean, Hey Jude was #1 for an entire year in 1969. I mean, they were.
That doesn't really happen anymore.
No chance.
No. Anyway, we're done pissing everybody off.
I'm sure we could find some more.
Hey, Commander Hate hasn't said anything too offensive tonight.
You care to weigh in on how much the Beatles are overrated?
I'm out.
I love when we're talking about something and Hate goes, then I know we're about to get it.
So, okay. My biggest thing with the Beatles is like this. They come out at a time and they're rated the way they are at a time when we had Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones, and even for that matter, early Aerosmith. But
none of those bands got banned from playing in their own country.
Oh Lord!
we gotta.
That's gonna be about it.
You have the power, Ty. You have the power to end this.
That's gonna be about it. I'm done. Check out our website at loosecruisedity.com. You can find all of our contact info. You're probably going to want to email me, tell me how horrible I am for not thinking the Beatles are the greatest band ever. So feel free to. It's loosescrewsquestions@gmail.com. You can send all your hate mail there. Or get on the Discord. The link's on our website, and message me and tell me how dumb I am about the Beatles. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will hear it. I've heard it for 40 years that I've had this thought that, I mean, actually it's only been about 10 years or so. But I've heard it.
Once again, good at math.
Please, send it on.
All right, everybody, get on and do the 1 year anniversary. I want to have. We don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but yeah, if we each had 2 or 3, mean tweets to read about ourselves, I'd be happy.
I would be overjoyed, especially if
I think
Trax has a whole bunch.
I don't think I've actually seen one where they actually single out Trax or Chig, but I have seen one where they single me out. So that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, well, if I don't get any, I'm going to be disappointed. So I'm calling it.
Were those two from me and Trax?
I'm not. I mean, the IP just goes to the state. I don't know. So,
Awesome.
No,
awesome
it doesn't
stuff.
actually doesn't actually IP track for those that actually are sending us hate mail. I have to say this. So if you actually do like our show and you agree, if there's anybody out there who agrees with me that the Beatles are overrated, please let me know. That way I know I'm not alone. But I'm sure
you're not alone.
I'm sure that's not the case. So. If you do happen to like our show, please, and you're listening to this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Stuff like that actually does help us out.
I was just thinking there might actually be some listeners to the show who are like, who the fuck are the Beatles? we're getting old.
No.
Does your daughter know who
no.
the Beatles are?
Yeah, my daughter, I'm raising my kid right. Of course she does.
If you really like our show, and you probably won't after I dislike the Beatles, and you actually feel like typing out a little review for us, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Stuff like that actually goes a long way to help us grow the show. I am Ty Worsham. Again, get me on Discord, or you can get me on the Twitter handle at Tyrvol, Tyrvol. Trax is a real-life audio engineer and knows a hell of a lot more about music than I do. He has his own podcast called Tone Control. Check it out, jntrax.com. NL Hate is our squadron commander. Any last squadron orders, sir?
Nope, but if they're on the Discord and they want to at me with some hate mail, I'm interested in hearing it.
Chig. Chig is our awesome community manager. I don't think I said that at the very beginning of the show. Chig, cheese us out.
You called me awesome. Thank you. God, I'm so happy. All right, cheese of the night is mozzarella. Mozzarella, everybody knows from on pizza. That's actually a low moisture mozzarella. You can also make fresh mozzarella. And I don't know if anybody knew this, or if everybody knew this, but it was originally made from water buffalo milk. And like actual mozzarella still is, which is strange to me. I never knew that. But go out, eat some mozzarella, just by the handful, by the block, by the, I don't know, gallon, by the...
Melt it. Don't be a dope.
By the fathom. I don't know how you would measure
Wait a
mozzarella. I'm just making shit up now because we've been on the air for way too long.
Wait a minute.
So, stay cheesy, everybody.
Wait a minute. Where do the Italians get water buffaloes from?
I don't
Across the
know.
Mediterranean. It's just a
Apparently, there's.
boat
I
ride.
guess it isn't that far.
I had no idea that there were Italian water buffalo. You learn something new every day.
All right, we're done. Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
Good night.